मेरा नाम सालेह मोहम्मद खान है और हमारी ऑर्किडियम नर्सरी है क्लिफ्टन ज़ियाउद्दीन अस्पताल के साथ ब्लॉक 1 में। और हमारे पास सबसे स्पेशल जो है ना वो ऑर्किड्स है, होया की वेराइटीज़ है, एयर प्लांट्स है, अडीनियम है, ग्राफ्टेड वाले हैं और बोगनवेलिया है। और इससे ज़्यादा स्पेशल जो और भी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हैं जिस पे हम लोग ग्राफ्ट भी कर सकते हैं, आपके लिए भी ग्राफ्ट कर सकते हैं। और बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं रेयर जो आपको यहाँ से मिल जाएंगी।
The outdoor area has a mix of flowering plants and sun-loving varieties, bougainvillea, adeniums, plumeria, and a section with cacti and succulents. Starting with bougainvillea, and there's a lot of variety here. You'll notice multiple colors and a quite few grafted plants as well, which is why you can see different shades on the same plant. Some really vibrant tones, pink, orange, white, that too in a single section. These are more suited for outdoor spaces, especially if you have good sunlight. The grafted ones are interesting. They give you a mix of colors without needing multiple plants. A solid option if you're looking to add color to a garden or a terrace. They've got a very good range over here, both in size and variety. This variegation really stands out. Some of these are quite well shaped. Next up, adeniums, also known as desert roses. Again, a lot of grafted varieties here, which is why you're seeing such a wide range of flower colors. From softer tones to more vibrant shades, there's quite a mix. The codex on some of these is quite well developed, which adds to the overall look of the plant. These are popular for a reason. They're compact, visually striking, and works well in sunny conditions. You can tell some of these plants have been shaped and maintained over a really long time. Definitely a strong section if you're into flowering plants. Some really nice forms over here. Good variation in both color and structures. Quick look at plumerias, classic flowering plants, especially known for its fragrance and soft tones. There's also a section with cacti, succulents, and sansevierias, a mixed shape of sizes here, some compact and some more mature. Sansevierias are always a good indoor-outdoor crossover option, and the cactus section has a decent variety for collectors as well. There's a nice mix in this section. There's something for both beginners as well as collectors. Moving to the indoor section, and this is where Orchidium really stands out. As expected, there's a strong orchid collection, but you'll also find Hoyas, air plants, Philodendrons, and much more. Let's start with the orchids. Orchids are clearly the highlight over here. A good range of colors and sizes, some in full bloom, other in different stages. You'll see a mix of varieties, each with its own pattern and structure. They're displayed very nicely over here, which makes it easier to go through the collection. Orchids can vary a lot in terms of experience, and you can see the diversity over here. Definitely the main attraction in this nursery. There's some really nice blooms here. There's a lot of variation in the patterns. Quick look at these plants, bright centers and structured foliage, always visually very striking. Air plants, minimal setup, no soil, and very versatile. You can place them in very different ways, which makes them quite popular for display. A few interesting forms here as well, with different shapes, sizes. They're simple, but still add a unique touch to a collection. You can see how we can see air plants arrangements with the Hoyas. Easy to style in different setups. Very different from traditional plants. Now into Hoyas, and there's a solid collection over here. You'll find different leaf shapes, different textures, and growth patterns. Some are more trailing, others more compact. Hoyas are known for their foliage, but also for their flowers when they bloom. A few interesting varieties here that you don't always see very easily. They're generally slow growers but rewarding over time. This section has a good mix, something for both collectors and more experienced collectors as well. You'll also notice the difference in leaf thickness across varieties. Some are more rigid and waxy, while others are thinner and slightly softer. That variation is part of what makes Hoyas interesting. You're not just looking at one type of plant, there's a lot of different diversity within the same family. Some of these are more compact and bushy, while others are clearly trailing and would work better in a hanging setups. A few of these also look like they've been growing in this environment for a while, which usually means that they've adjusted well to the local conditions. Another thing with Hoyas is that they tend to look simple at first, but the more you observe them, the more detail you start to notice. And of course, when they flower, that's a completely different level. But even without blooms, the foliage itself is enough to build a strong collection. Moving on to the philodendrons. This is a pretty extensive section. It has a mix of different types over here. Some with larger foliage, some more compact. You'll notice a range of leaves, shapes, and tones, from lighter green to deeper shades. Some plants are more structured, while others have a more natural spread. There are a few pieces that stand out immediately, especially in terms of size and overall form. You can also see variation in maturity, some younger plants, and some more established ones. This section feels quite well stocked overall. For anyone into foliage plants, this is definitely a key area in this nursery. It's very nice to see this level of variety in a nursery over here in Karachi. These are not the plants that you're going to find in your local nursery. When looking at these plants, you can notice one thing, and that thing is how well they're being kept and how well they're being catered for. If you look closely, you'll notice difference in growth patterns. Some of these are more upright, while others are natural climbers. That also affects how you would style them, whether on a moss pole or just let them spread out. Leaf texture is another thing. Some are smooth, broad, while others have a bit more structure or ridge into them. There's always a clear variation in maturity. Some plants are still developing, while others are already showing more defined shapes and larger leaves. A few of these stand out just based on size alone. You can tell they've been growing for a while. And then there are others where the appeal is more in the form and symmetry rather than the size. It's a good mix overall, and you're not just seeing one type repeated, you actually get a range of different looks within the same section. Some plants catch your attention immediately, while others grow on you the more you observe them. That's usually a good sign of well-rounded collection. You can also see how some of these would evolve over time, especially climbers, once they start attaching and pushing out the larger leaves. This is kind of section where both new collectors and experienced ones will find something very interesting. Definitely one of the most stronger part of this nursery. Ending with ferns, lush, soft foliage that adds a completely different texture to the space. So guys, that was Orchidium Nursery, a nice mix of flowering and a strong indoor collection, especially orchids and foliage plants. If you're exploring nurseries in Karachi, this is definitely one worth checking out. Let me know which section of plants stood out to you the most. I'll be visiting more nurseries across the city and sharing their collection, so if you're into plants, make sure to subscribe. See you in the next episode of Plant Trails. Goodbye.